Welcome to the What Are We Doing Here podcast, where we share the inspiring stories of two completely opposite women who overcame their unhealthy relationships with food and negative self talk and found a path to health and healing through self discovery and natural nutritional supplements. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Brittany. And we share a lot about our personal growth and personal development on this podcast. And it's no secret that Lindsay and I met due to our network marketing company. And so today we thought we would share a little bit about our growth with the company and how it is translated into our personal lives and our personal development.
Yep. So when you decide to start your business, the first go round, I'm sure that there were some trials that came with it. And, that's definitely happening currently. We've both had some struggles. Mine is more with still working outside of the home and trying to fit this business in. And I was doing a really great job. And then some things happened at my job that really have taken away some of the time that I've been able to invest in growing my business. So it's been a really challenging few weeks, to say the least. Maybe a little more than that because I've had travel for work. I've had lots of stuff going on. And while the big thing for me is creating some time freedom, some of that has been taken away with my job outside of the home. And so also trying to find the time with my kids, find the time with my family. So this is one of those seasons where it would be really easy and tempting to say, I'm going to revert back into my comfort zone. I'm going to stop pushing through, knowing beyond the shadow of a doubt that what's on the other side is better. And so I think for me right now, I'm just in this season of reestablishing my time management and figuring out, where things go. And for me, it's more job. What about for you?
Well, I just kind of want to hit on what you're talking about, that sacrifice. You say your time freedom, that's what you're working towards, but you're almost having to double down and work harder and look for it in the future, that time freedom. So you're not getting the time freedom immediately, and you're sacrificing this time with your family and the time where you want to work on your businesses, just so that you can have that time freedom in the future. So I think that's admirable. I don't know how you're doing that because my time management skills are horrible. First off, as well as I do, like I have like 19 lists and half the time I can't find them. And then, just managing my time, it seems like I'll take a phone call and 4 hours have passed, but I think I'm trying to do better about blocking time, managing time. You tell me to do that quite often. So I am trying to do that, but I find myself kind of in your shoes, a similar situation. I mean, I don't have kids, I don't have the family, but just to where I'm having to sacrifice so much time to work on my business, right? I mean, and that you're going to have to sacrifice that time and it's going to be worth it. But we're having to, like, we're in the trenches right now, right? And we know the work that we're doing right now is going to get us to the mountaintop. But it's hard to see that mountaintop when you're in the trenches. And that's kind of how I'm feeling too. Just a tad bit overwhelmed, and like I started this for time freedom and I have even less time freedom, right?
Yeah. And I think that is one thing I want to hit on because you've said this in the past. Like you had time freedom before. You're now working for time freedom with your husband to be home and be able to be with you. And so both of you have that time freedom.
Yes.
And so it's a difficult thing, but I want to highlight where we're at right now is a similar situation to anything that you've done in the past that you can say, I had to sacrifice something at the time and it was completely worth it.
Mm,
and having faith and knowing that it's going to work out and it's going to be worth it. Like, let's just say when you were going to college because you knew doing those 4 years to get a job to sustain yourself. For me, working out and knowing, I'm for
mhm.
20 weeks sacrificing food and parties and workouts and sleep to get on stage and win trophies. I think with any journey in life, it doesn't have to be starting a
Yes.
business. It can be starting your weight loss journey. It
Mhm.
can be starting writing a book, whatever. Anything that you think that you want to do right now, you have to anticipate and prepare for the challenges. You have to know that every single thing that you
Yeah.
do in life, you're going to have the challenges and you have to be prepared for them, be ready for them, and know that no matter what, you're going to get over it. But I think this will
Yeah,
take
so
us back
stop
to.
you right there because that's great. So I think just almost anticipating what's
Mhm.
coming. Like even
Yep.
right now, we've got Thanksgiving coming, Christmas coming. So like I'm anticipating those challenges coming up for my clean eating because I live in Tennessee. I live in the South. There's going to be mashed potatoes and corn, cornbread and rolls. I mean, stuffing. So yeah, even any kind of journey, those having those kind of challenges, but knowing they're coming makes it a little bit easier, I think, and
Yeah.
anticipating it and knowing how to get through it. Sorry, go ahead, Lindsay, but that's
No, but
great.
I like that you said that because before we got on air, we were talking and you were like, I don't know how you're doing it. And that's what I said. Like, I know challenges are coming, I
Mhm.
prepare for them. And there's no reason to stress myself and worry because I can only do what I can do. And sometimes that means things aren't going to happen as fast as I want them to. And you know what? That's okay.
You have more patience than anybody else I've ever met in my entire life. Like it's a running joke in my family. None of us have patience at all. I did in the classroom, but step outside and I had none. But you are just I admire that about you because you have just kept trucking and stayed consistent and stayed persistent and you get there eventually, right? But you're
Yep.
so patient about it. And I think because of that, maybe your stress level isn't as high as like mine.
Well, and that is completely acquired. It is something I've worked on. So it was not something that I had in the beginning. It was not something that, was that I've had all along. It is something that having gone through difficulties and coming out on the other side and seeing that it always works out and
Same.
establishing a rock solid mindset.
So I do really like that while you're doing that. That rock solid, I just wrote that down, that rock solid mindset. Um, you told me a long time ago that our brain can't tell the difference between a thought and
Mhm.
reality.
Yep.
So if you don't have that rock solid mindset, if you don't have those good thoughts, if you don't have, you've got to make those decisions and so that your brain knows that that's, the reality that you want. You have to create it, manifest it in your mind first. So I really like that positivity and being rock solid and knowing it's going to work out, having faith. I love that, Lindsay.
That's the only thing that gets me through. We've gone through several trials in my life, in our marriage, with our family, with, things that have happened that are outside of our control. And so really it is establishing your mindset, anchoring to your why,
I
right?
just wrote down why.
Yeah. Because again, I could revert back to the easy, the simple. But we have a really good friend and mentor who says that a good life
Is the
is
enemy of a great
a
life.
great life. Yep. A good life is the enemy of a great life. And so if we're working towards a great life, not only in our health, but with our families and our time freedom and being able to give like we want to give, then you cannot revert back. You cannot say, I'm going to go to that comfort zone. You have to have that mindset and the faith that it's going to work, and you prepare for battle every day.
And you anchor it to your why. I
Anchor to
saw
your
a meme go, our whys mean something very, very special to us just because of Puerto Rico. But when and all of the bonding we had there and figuring out our whys. But people, I see like stuff going around all the time that's like, remember why you started. So there's why means a lot to a lot of people. Why did you want to start losing weight? Why did you want to get on? Why are you on a health journey? It's easy to go out and stop at McDonald's because it's the easy thing to do. But if you anchor yourself, like Lindsay just said, to that why, you don't want to stop at McDonald's. You remember the reason you're on your journey.
Yep.
Oh, you're full of good nuggets today, ma'am.
Thanks. I've been doing a lot of work and content creation, so that will be coming soon. But
Woohoo!
so and I think that too. Like obviously, I'm taking on a lot of things, not only work. So we definitely have to know that just hold steadfast in faith that we're doing things on the path that we're supposed to be on and for the purpose and impacting people. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I like that. We're doing it for a purpose. I had made a post the other day on social media about how this is my testimony and I won't quit sharing it.
Yeah.
This is what I was called to do is share my testimony because it's a touching testimony and a lot of people are dealing with it. And I have a lot of people that are like, "Oh, we're so tired of seeing your weight loss." There's negativity in the world, and that's their problem. I'm not saying anything about them because that's between them and God. That's
Yep.
not me.
Yep.
But just kind of continuing on your path, laser focused, sharing your testimony, and not letting anything stop you. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that too. So we could put that battle in there as well, is again, if you speak kindly to yourself, if you are very confident with who you are and how you show up in the world, it does not matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter. They're going to criticize no matter what you do. And so, if you love who you're showing up as, and you know that you have good intentions for what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Can't break my spirit.
And I think too, just because I've seen some negativity lately, going around on social media with some of my team, not them, but they were just getting down because people were like, "Oh, I've seen your stuff. No, leave me alone." And it just blows my mind. That people are so negative. So I've been talking to them a lot lately about staying positive, about, ignoring the negativity and staying above it all. But I'll tell you, it's hard when you're in the trenches. Just like it's hard when you're in the trenches trying to get to the other side. So I think if we just continue to push out that negativity, because I tell them all the time, they don't pay your bills.
Yeah. And the other thing is, the only thing we can control is how it makes us feel. So if
Control.
we're solid in knowing that our intentions are good, what we're sharing is impactful for other people, that's where it stops. I'm sorry that you're not on board with what I'm doing. I'm going to
I
keep
don't
doing
need you to be.
right, but that's what I'm saying. So we are responsible for how we feel and
Yes.
what we let in.
Mhm.
So you just have to not let it in. And that again, circle back to all of the obstacles that you have to climb over. We get to decide if we're going to dig a hole and get down and boo-hoo, cry about all of the things that are trying to be put in our path.
I've done it.
I have too. I have too.
but
not
it
on
got me
days.
nowhere. I still come to 6 weeks later going, why did I quit? I don't,
Mhm.
why am I 6 weeks with no, nothing but excuses, right? Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you,
I
but
love
we've
that.
done it.
Mhm. Everyone does until you figure it out.
Mm.
Until someone, and I think that's a big thing for me. There's a world of, self-development that I never knew existed.
Now,
Like,
I didn't know until
for
I met you.
so well, and it was when I, standing on a stage, really got done and was like, is this is my pinnacle. Like, this is what I worked for. This is the perfect body. This is what I dreamed about.
Mm.
And then it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I'm driving home in the car with my kids and I'm thinking to myself, because they were there, they watched it. I'm like, what am I teaching them? What am I modeling to them?
Oh,
That it's
lead
okay
by
to
example.
judge,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. And so that for me was that was an aha moment. And that was when I had been reading some books, but that was when I knew, like, there a stark change had to be had.
Yeah. I definitely can see that lead by example is important when, especially when you have kids, but it's not just important. We're talking a little bit about business today with your kids, but also with your team, right?
Hmm.
If I let it affect me, or if I called them, it's like, so and so said so and so, or did you,
Hmm.
like, who's going to listen? Then Brittany becomes negative. Then they feed off negativity. You have said it before. It's a cycle. If
Hmm.
two people get to talking negative, what can happen? A
Yep.
positive mindset could shift like that. So
Yep.
can't talk today either, but you can't. And so you have to pull yourself back from the negativity. And it's not that it's intentional ever, but it happens.
It does. And the negativity can overcome so much quicker than the positivity. I mean,
Mm.
and everyone, I'm sure, at some point in their life has experienced a time where you walk in and you're upbeat and you're chipper and you're ready for the day, and somebody says one little thing and it can knock you down. And you try to get the pep back in your step, but it's just hard, especially if they're still there, like at a job or somewhere where, so that's where, man, that rock
Yeah,
solid mindset.
it's something crazy. Like, for every negative comment, you have to hear 7 or 10 positive comments.
Wow.
It's insane,
Yeah.
and not just to your children, adults. That happens to adults too. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think just and for me, I want my kids now to see this working hard and overcoming obstacles, and they saw that with the competitions and everything,
Yeah.
but I think it felt different because I knew internally I didn't feel the same then. I was not fulfilled, and that didn't do what I thought it would. It didn't make me happy like I thought it should, and I'm happy now. That's the thing. Like, I don't need anything else to make me happy. I know that I've got an incredible life. I have this great family, but I'm pushing towards
Mhm.
something just a little better for us. Not me,
Right.
not what I look like, not, you know, and so it's just I'm at a different place now.
Yeah, I think you hit it right there, because again, a good life is the enemy of a
Mhm.
great life, because you could settle down, you could live a good life, Lindsay. You've got a great family and a great husband, but you choose to step out, to lean into that discomfort, any of those uncomfortable, hard feelings, and push forward and become better so that you can be better and have better for your family. All of us get stuck in that, but
Mhm.
it's about moving forward. And I think that with you doing the bodybuilding and you being able to say, man, I just didn't get the feeling I thought I was going to get from that. But you didn't keep chasing it, right?
Right.
You didn't keep going and going, saying, I'm going to get that feeling. Like, you stopped, you reevaluated, and you changed your direction. And that is huge to me.
Yeah. But so many people in in their lives feel like it's impossible to make that shift.
Yeah.
I've gone so far in this career. I've gone so far in,
Yes.
this lane that the thought of being uncomfortable and the difficulty that it would take
Mm,
to shift directions and do something that is your path and purpose. And it's okay, but that's what I want to encourage my kids is to say, you don't have to live in a mediocre life. Just
right.
because when you were 18 years old, you chose to go to college for one thing, and now you're 5 years in and you really don't like it, it's okay. Like, you can shift, you can, it's not going to be easy. And that's what I'm showing them.
Yes.
It may be the most difficult thing that you do in your life, but if you anchor to your why and you're prepared for the battles to come,
Yes.
anything is possible. And I want them to know like anything in their life is possible. And I want to encourage future generations and our teams and anyone listening that it's all possible if you can just get that mindset.
Right. And know when you're in that trench, the work you're doing there is what you need to get out and get on top of that mountain. You can't get to here without starting here. So I think that's something we have somebody, they say it quite often. He says, most people stop before they start. Right? Because you have to start here to get here. So many people come into different parts of their lives. Riding horses, for example. You see it in a movie, you think you're going to run up there, throw your leg over a horse, go galloping off, everything's perfect, right? Well, that's not how it works, folks. And it's that way with a lot of things. You have to start here and build to here. The work you do here gets you to greatness. And so I think that that's why so many people stop, is because they see the trench and they look at the mountain up and they can't see that they're going up. Sorry, go ahead, Lindsay. You were
Or,
going.
on that same thought, the other thing that happens is you don't stay in your lane. You know what I could do right now with like you're having a significantly different type of success in network marketing than I am right now. And I could very easily look at what's happening with you and, oh, we came in at the same time. Like, this is where blinders and this is where doing your own work and not getting discouraged based
Mm,
on somebody else's results.
mhm.
Everyone changes and grows at a different rate,
Yeah.
and everyone's path is paved differently.
Mhm.
And so that's another reason I think why people quit or don't start is they're comparing their starting level at your chapter 12. I did a social media post about this a couple weeks ago, but like you can't look at where someone else is now who's been doing it. And I don't care if they say, well, this person's having a lot of success and they've only been here for 3 weeks. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Your journey is different.
But it's always like this anyway. You may start in a valley and go to a hill. They may start on a hill, but then they got to go to the valley next, right? I mean, that's why I quit. I
Right.
started on top and then I hit the valley. I was like, this is not fun. So yeah, I told I had a small group meeting last night and they were all at different places, right? Some of them had been there 6 times as long as the others and were having nowhere near the amount of success. And I just kept telling them, and we've said this before on the podcast, and we were sitting at dinner. I was like, if I'm looking at his plate of food, mine's getting cold.
Yeah.
So the comparing will kill you. But I learned that from you too, a lot of it, because there was times in that you helped me work through where I was comparing my journey to yours, my emotional journey to yours, and then I was also comparing my business journey to the person next to me. So we all do it, but it will cause you to stop before you start. Don't do it. Just don't.
You will self destruct because
I've done that.
you're looking at externals. You're looking for validation in a
Mm,
place that it's not going to come from. That is why internally being able to validate yourself,
Mm,
that is such a big part of your growth before or growth while you're on a journey like that, because you have to be able to say, I don't care if somebody else gives me praise. I don't care if somebody else is
and
doing
you
better.
taught me that.
I am happy with me.
Mhm,
I love who I show up as. I will say this over and over, that if there's one thing that I could get through, is it has to come from within.
mhm.
Everything starts from inside, because when you're looking or seeking something externally, or letting an external circumstance affect how you're feeling or affect your thoughts, it's all that shift inside.
And that's everything. I mean, there was a time I looked to Jeremy to make me happy. It's not Jeremy's job to make me happy.
Right?
This happens in every aspect of your life.
Hmm.
But the main thing is that you can start right now,
Yep.
like working on the inside.
Yep.
Because I could have given up before I started. Lindsay
Yep.
could have given up before she started, but we started and we're here. The time is going to pass anyway. Just start working on it now, and you'll look back and go, wow, Lindsay was right. Brittany might have been right too. You know,
Yeah. But I do think the big takeaways from this episode are, when you start a new journey, be prepared, be ready for difficulties. Don't get
sacrifice.
yourself overwhelmed
Mm.
with, oh my gosh, then I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's not like that. You can't have this negative, like, oh, when's it going to happen? You can't be like afraid of it or fear it or worry about it. You just have to know and be prepared that when it comes, I'm going to handle it. That's all.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
I know eventually this high that I'm riding, there's something that's going to happen. It may be business related. It may not be. It may be something that's external. A kid gets sick, a family member gets sick. It doesn't matter. But when those things happen, it is a minor obstacle that slows your progress down. That's all. Just slows you down. And we have another amazing friend who says, it doesn't matter how slow the car gets, how slow your vehicle gets. Just don't get out. Don't
Even if you
stop.
have to stop at a stop sign, you don't get out of your car.
You just don't get out. Like, you can slow down, but just make sure you maintain your seatbelt on in the vehicle.
And what is your vehicle? What are you using to get to that
Right.
next level of your life? And
Yep.
you don't, again, anchor to the why, Lindsay. You
Yep.
said that earlier, that rock solid mindset. I love
You
it. It's
anchor to your why and find your rock solid mindset. So
perfect.
prepare for obstacles, anchor to your why, and develop that rock solid mindset, and you'll be unstoppable.
Yes. Put your blinders on and move
Yep,
forward.
that's right. And then in the next episode, maybe we'll talk about those boundaries that also need to be included.
She's going to make me do it, guys. I actually wrote it down today
Uh,
before Lindsay and I started chatting. I was like, I think I'm about ready.
we'll maybe we'll do that next week. So
Y'all better bring the tissues for me.
funny. All right. So if you found value in this episode, or you think that someone you know could benefit from it, please share it with them. Go ahead and like and subscribe on YouTube, and give us a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.